It's 3:14 in the morning, and on the 15th floor of a building in Anima, one window is still lit. Inside, the zebra is sitting on the kitchen floor, holding a phone. She has typed a message, deleted it, and typed it again, 11 times. The message says, "Are you awake? 2 hours ago, everything was fine. You said goodnight. That was all." But somewhere between goodnight and now, a quiet voice inside her said, "He's pulling away." And once that voice speaks, there is no arguing with it. Because in Anima, the zebra is what psychology calls the borderline pattern, borderline personality disorder, or BPD. And a borderline mind does not feel fear the way you do. It feels it as certainty. By the end of this video, you will understand BPD better than almost anyone in your life. You'll know the 5 signs, you'll know what to do if you love a zebra, and you'll know why she does the one thing that hurts her most. And if you're watching this because you think you might be the zebra, stay until the end. Because I have something for you that almost no video on this subject bothers to say, and it's genuinely good news. 15th floor. Look at her body first. Look at the stripes, black and white, nothing in between. That's not decoration. That's the first sign, and it's the engine of the entire borderline pattern. Psychologists call it splitting. The borderline mind struggles to hold 2 truths about a person at the same time. It can't easily think he loves me and he is disappointing me right now. It has to pick one. So it picks completely. Monday, you are the only person who has ever truly understood her. She tells her friends about you. She means every single word. Tuesday, you replied to a message with a period instead of an exclamation mark, and now you're cold. Now you're just like everyone else. Now she is quietly building the case for why she should leave before you do. Yes, a punctuation mark. That's the whole crime scene. And here's what you have to understand. She isn't performing. Both versions are completely real to her while she's inside them. BPD doesn't fake feelings. It just can't blend them. Quick note, because I can already hear it. In this city, the zebra is a she, but that's only how she showed up in this story. Borderline personality disorder is not a woman's pattern. Men live on this floor too. They're just far less likely to be diagnosed because when a man's emotions run this hot, people tend to call it anger instead and stop looking. So if you're a man watching this and something already sounds familiar, keep watching. This floor has your name on a door too. Now the second sign is the one everything else grows out of, the fear of abandonment. Everybody has some fear of being left. In the borderline pattern, that fear isn't a background worry, it's the operating system. And crucially, it doesn't need evidence. The fear fires on imagined abandonment just as hard as on real abandonment. A slow reply, a different tone of voice, you being tired after a long day. To you, nothing happened. To the zebra, the ground just opened. This is why she asks, "Are we okay?" For the 4th time this week. She's not trying to wear you down. She's trying to survive the next 10 minutes. And the 3rd sign explains why all of this feels so extreme. The borderline pattern comes with emotions turned up to a volume most people never experience. There's a clinical term for it, emotional dysregulation. Research on BPD suggests emotions ignite faster, burn hotter, and take considerably longer to return to baseline than they do for most people. Think about the last time you were truly humiliated. That drop in your stomach. The heat in your face. Now imagine that arriving in under a second, from something as small as a friend canceling dinner, and then staying for hours. That's a Tuesday on the 15th floor. People call her dramatic. She isn't being dramatic. She's reporting the weather accurately. It's just that the weather in there is a hurricane. Now stop for a second, because I want to name what's probably happening in your chest right now. If you've loved a zebra, you're remembering one specific fight. And if you are the zebra, you're feeling seen and slightly exposed at the same time. Hold that. I'll come back to it, and I promise it ends somewhere kind. Because the 4th sign is one people almost never talk about. The zebra often doesn't know who she is. In clinical language, this is called identity disturbance, and it's one of the most painful parts of BPD. Her sense of self shifts depending on who she's with. New relationship, new music, new opinions, new version of her, like an apartment that gets redecorated for every guest. It looks like she's being fake. She isn't. When you don't have a stable self on the inside, you borrow one from the person in front of you. That's not manipulation. That's scaffolding. Which is also why breakups don't just hurt her. They erase her. If she became herself through you, then losing you means losing the map back to her own personality. And that brings us to the fifth sign, the one that makes the borderline pattern so exhausting to love and so exhausting to live inside: the push and the pull. She will pull you close with everything she has, and then, right when it's the safest it has ever been, she'll shove you away. She'll start a fight over nothing. She'll say the cruel sentence she doesn't mean. She'll vanish for 2 days. Why? Because if abandonment is coming, and in her mind it is always coming, then it's better to control the timing. Better to be the one who blows it up than the one who gets left standing in the wreckage. Underneath every push is the same unspoken sentence: leave me now, so I don't have to spend every day terrified of when you will. BPD also tends to come with impulsivity, sudden decisions, sudden spending, sudden exits, and sometimes pain that gets turned inward. That last part is real, and it's serious, and it's exactly why this pattern deserves a professional and not a comment section. So, 5 signs: splitting, the fear of abandonment, emotions at maximum volume, an unstable sense of self, and the push-pull. Now, what do you actually do if there's a zebra in your life? 3 things, and they work. And if you are the zebra, don't skip this part. This is the section that tells you what actually calms your system down. Most people around you have never been told any of it, which is probably why nothing has worked yet. The first one: be boring, in the best possible way. Predictability is medicine for the borderline pattern. If you say you'll call at 7, call at 7. If you need space, don't just go quiet. Say, I need an hour, and then I'm coming back. Those last 5 words do more work than an entire apology. Her nervous system spends all day scanning for evidence that you're leaving. Every time you do the small thing you said you'd do, you're quietly deleting that evidence. The second one: answer the fear, not the words. At 3:14 in the morning, the message says, "Are you awake?" But the real question is, am I still safe with you? If you argue with the words, you lose. Every time. You'll end up debating who said what on Thursday while the actual fire keeps burning. Respond to the fear instead. Short, calm, no lecture. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Let's talk in the morning. You'd be genuinely surprised how often a storm ends with one steady sentence. And the third one: this is the one good people get wrong, precisely because they're good. Keep your boundaries. Loving someone with BPD does not mean absorbing everything. You're allowed to be warm and still say, I won't be spoken to like that. And I'm also not leaving. That combination, warmth plus a limit, is the exact thing she has almost never experienced. Most people in her life have either abandoned her or dissolved into her. Being someone who does neither is on its own a kind of therapy. And now the thing I promised you. If you've been sitting there recognizing yourself in all 5 signs, listen carefully, because this is the most important part of the video. Of every pattern in Anima, the borderline pattern has one of the most hopeful outlooks of any of them. Long-term studies following people diagnosed with BPD have found that a large majority improve substantially over time, many to the point where they no longer meet the criteria at all. Read that again. This is one of the few patterns people genuinely grow out of. There's even a therapy built specifically for it, dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, and the evidence behind it is strong. It teaches the exact skills this pattern never got the chance to develop: how to hold 2 truths at once, how to ride out a wave of feeling without acting on it, how to stay when everything in you is screaming run. So if you're the zebra, you are not broken, and you are definitely not too much. You're someone whose emotional volume knob was set painfully high, most likely for reasons that were never your fault. And unlike almost anything else in this city, that knob can be turned down. Please talk to a professional about it. That isn't a disclaimer at the end of a video. That's the actual point of it. And remember the rule of Anima: you are not one animal. You are the whole city. There's a little zebra in you too, even if you've never come close to the full pattern. It's the part that reads a 3-word text and hears a tone that isn't there. The part that decides someone is done with you based on absolutely nothing, at midnight, with no evidence, with total confidence. We all have a 15th floor. The zebra just lives on hers full time. Next week we're going up to the roof. To the cat, the one who wants you most at the exact moment you stop wanting him, and who has never once admitted he needs anybody. Anima opens 1 door every week. I'll see you on the next floor.